Welcome, Eugenia. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Hi, Parul. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Very good. Excited to be here.
Yeah, excited to have you here because the topic that we have chosen today is so important, which is all about taking responsibility for our actions in romantic relationships. So we are going to talk about that topic. But first, why don't we understand who Eugenia is? So tell us, what is your story?
My story. That's a big question. Well, I am, let's start by the beginning. I am a daughter to a narcissistic mom, but I didn't know this until I was like in my early 30s when, thanks to a narcissistic guy that I was dating, I hit rock bottom and I started delving deep into who I truly was, why these things were happening to me, why men were always treating me so badly or behaving so bad with me, or I was humiliating myself. And from that day on, I understood that it was not the outer world who needed change. It was not men who needed change. It was me who needed the change. And that changed my whole reality. So back then, I was a computer engineer, 17 years in that field, and I hated my life. I hated everything. I didn't have a purpose. I didn't have motivation in the morning. Well, what can I tell you? I don't know. I am assuming that many people have this problem. I was numbing myself, being the party girl and all this lifestyle that we all know millennials have. And then one day when this hit me, that it was me who needed change, I started having this other reality in front of me. I opened up these new possibilities for myself. And just recently, 4 years after this breakthrough, 1.5 years ago, I quit finally my career and started, there was a lot of traveling, there was a lot of rediscovering myself until I finally decided to take that last step of rediscovering who I truly was and remembering that mission and that calling until I am finally here. I will not say all my mom wounds healed, but many of them I have forgiven her for who she was or who she still is. And yeah, well, my story is the story of change, coming out of my rational mind into my emotional wisdom. And I love the new life, and I love the new possibilities that this reality has to offer us.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. That moment that you talked about, the moment when we realize that it's not the outer world that needs changing.
Yes.
It's us that can feel like a smack in the face, but it is so powerful.
Definitely. I really was not expecting that to happen. I was always playing the nice girl, being the victim, being that girl, that little girl mm-hmm. that needs rescuing. My mom always said that reminds me that I was always saying when I was little that I wanted to be a princess when I grow up. And I believe that is what I was doing in my life, being that nice girl, that princess, allowing everybody to rescue her. And now I know that I am not a princess. I'm actually a goddess, all powerful and almighty, all sage and wise.
I love the metaphors you use from stepping away from my rational mind into my emotional wisdom. I love that. And now you realize you're not a princess, you're a goddess. Wow. Yes. What a journey, what a transformation.
Yes.
And so this is what your life mission is, as I understand?
Yes, definitely.
So tell us a little bit more about it.
I discovered this. Well, it's all based on my own experience. Thanks to this narcissistic guy that I spoke before, I understood the sweet dance, like I like to call it, between feminine and masculine. We all have that inside. I didn't know this back then. But that relationship between men and women, pull and push, it can be really frustrating, or you can take it really as a game. And this doesn't mean that you're going to play with anybody's feelings, just allowing magic to happen. And I have fully embraced this in my life, to the point that now I finally found the perfect man. I finally found I hope it will be the man of my life. It certainly feels that way right now. And well, it has been through a lot of give and take, pull and push, because he's an Arab Muslim. I have absolutely nothing to do with that culture or with that religion. And we have definitely come to an understanding, come to accepting each other the way we are without needing to change each other. And we have both gone through a lot of transformation during this relationship. And definitely, if I can be a normal Westerner married to a conservative Arab Muslim, any woman can have that dream relationship and that communication going on, I believe. So yeah, it's all about opening up to that acceptance and conditional love relationship conversations.
So powerful, so powerful. Coming to that understanding without the need to change each other and accepting each other for who we are.
Yes, definitely. It is really powerful, and we're building something new. This doesn't mean that we don't fight, we don't argue. That would be totally unrealistic, right? Because we are two different people with very different backgrounds, very different cultures, religion even, and we do have disagreements, but we are able to navigate them in a way that doesn't feel frustrating, doesn't feel disappointment. That disappointment is just two adults accepting each other and visualizing the problem and going on to the problem together, see how they can solve it. Not one against the other, fighting and quarreling, you know?
Yeah. So it's the acceptance of the person, even if we aren't agreeing with their point of view. That's what I hear.
Yes. And in the end, most of the times he tends to, because women, we are very in touch with our emotions. However, sometimes, or very often, when we are not healed, when we are still coming from that wounded place, those fears, we tend to speak in a way that is very emotional. However, our emotions is our biggest power for women. It's not in our mind, it's our emotions. And when we are able to communicate these emotions to a man in a rational way, I've been mind blown, because men really step up the game at that moment. They do understand, they do accept the emotion, because they also feel emotions. They just don't know how to handle them in the way that we are meant to handle them. And this allows him to step up and to really embrace his masculinity instead of withdrawing into his femininity, and really embracing my vision of the world, and even trying to make his friends understand that vision, trying to help his sisters come out of their bullshit relationships, if I am able to say that word.
You can definitely say it. We are all adults here.
So it's not only that I am helping him grow as a person thanks to my emotional wisdom, but he's also transmitting this to his friends, to the husbands of his sisters. And this is just a little small ripple effect that we can have here around our little family. But definitely this is something that I want to spread all over the world.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is tapping into our emotional wisdom to connect with the rational side of brain.
Yes. So have that. So in spirituality, they would say align the heart with the mind. But I don't know how spiritual people here are. So just bringing that heart awareness, those emotions, those feelings, awareness into the brain, and then communicate them in a way that the person that you have in front can understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for that it requires stepping a bit back of the issue and really seeing the challenge as it is, seeing that emotion the way it is from a bit from the outside. So yes, all these mindfulness techniques are really coming really handy. Breathing in and seeing it from a side, and you are not the emotion, you are not the behavior, you're just seeing it from afar, and then from that perspective you're able to rationalize and see what's deeper, from what is the real issue behind the current circumstance.
Yeah, and that ties in so beautifully with the topic that we have chosen for today, which is taking responsibility for our actions in romantic relationships.
Yes. What can I tell you? It is so important to take that responsibility in romantic relationships. Well, in any kind of relationship, actually. Also with colleagues or with your parents or with friends, it is really so important to take that responsibility and really dare to, whenever you mess up, dare to say, I'm sorry. Not just try to let it flow away and hope that the person will heal by themselves, but just really take responsibility for what you said or what you didn't. Put yourself out there, fully open, vulnerable. I'm sorry. It was not what I meant to say. I'm sorry you got it that way. It was not my intention, or whatever it is. Or even it was your intention and you were fully aware of what you were doing. But still, if you have some inner feeling of, I shouldn't have done that, you can still go and say it, And because we all have done this, the person might be struck at the beginning, but they will end up most probably accepting it because we have all done that. So yeah, we're all humans in the end.
Yeah. So that's the first thing we could do, owning up our actions and apologizing where that's due and owning up the mistakes, our intention. What else can we do?
I would say that the very first step that we should do is forgive ourselves. So it's not only in order to take that responsibility, we have to forgive ourselves first, not only ask for that apology, but also really be okay with the fact that you messed up, or that with the fact that you messed up, with the fact that this was not really the way that you wanted it to go, or that at the moment you didn't know any better, so you are really forgiving yourself for whatever happened, for whatever you did, for whatever you said, and owning it, really owning it. Again, not trying to ignore it, not trying to avoid it, just owning that guilt, owning that annoyance, and forgiving yourself for it, because judgment will not take us very far. We really need more love and more acceptance and more understanding for the world to be how we all envision it to be. Less wars, less government, corruption, less politicians that steal our money. So if we were all able to tap into that self-forgiveness, we will all be much more in tune with our true nature.
Yeah, I hear you, but I'm keen to understand a bit more about self-forgiveness, because it is so important. It's an integral part of any kind of growth that we can go through. So explain to us why self-forgiveness comes before taking any responsibility.
Well, how can you take responsibility for something that you have not fully embraced, right? Yes, I can come and tell you, I'm sorry, please accept my apologies. But if you haven't forgiven yourself, how can the other person forgive you for it? You know, everything, this is something that blew my mind when I learned about it. And it is, I don't know if you are aware of the quantum field.
Just a little.
Okay, so the quantum field is just says, and this was discovered in 1929, I believe. So this even blew my mind even further. Why nobody teaches this in school? Everything is energy. We are energy. So below our smallest atom, there is, so the smallest atom is made out of waves and particles, and they change depending when you have your attention on it or not. So this means that if you are having your attention on whatever it is that you see, it means it takes shape. The moment that you don't have your attention there, it disappears.
Yeah.
And this means that whatever you put your focus on is your reality. So positivity or negativity is there because your brain sees it. If it doesn't see it, it will not be there for you. That's why positivity is so important, and see the positive thing in things. And at the same time, whatever you think of yourself or of others will be your reality too. So everybody that calls this manifestation, it's all about your beliefs and how you see the world. And this is why you see the world around you the way you see it, the people that are attracted to you, the people that, well, your friends, your family, they are that way because you have your beliefs and you have your conditioning. So the moment that you shift that everything around changes. And this was mind-blowing for me. So how can we expect somebody to forgive us, to accept an apology, when we cannot accept that whatever mess up we have done? So I think this is really the first step, to really dig deep and see, why have I done this? What could I have done differently? And also even to change our pattern, and in the future not to allow it to happen again. So to catch us there in the pattern and change it for the better for the future. And this is actually what a true apology is, right? When you are able to change that behavior in the future. If I'm telling you I'm sorry I arrived late, and the next time I arrive late, and the next time I arrive late, and I am not sorry for arriving late. But if I truly try to come punctual, and you see that every time I'm arriving a bit sooner, and that I am doing my best, then you will accept that apology. You are seeing the change. So, well, yeah.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
Yes, yes.
I love what you said there. Judgment will not take us far. We need more love.
Yes. Love is the answer to everything. And we go again to judgment. When we are judging others, we are also judging ourselves, right?
Yeah.
For example, I don't know. We tend to like to sit down with a friend or with our partner and start watching people pass by, and we start saying, the shoes that this woman is wearing, or the hair of this person, what a big nose, whatever. These are all judgments, physical judgments. But we also do have inner judgments when somebody is telling us, I don't know, they come up with whatever belief, religious belief, as I explained now about my partner. The moment he told me he was Muslim, I could have judged him. And how can you believe in such crazy things or whatever, or I don't know. How can you have your women wearing the hijab constantly? This is all a judgment. But instead, how about we start seeing, if I don't like the shoes of this woman, if I am laughing at the nose of this guy, what does that have to do with me, with how I see myself? What is the importance of shoes in my life? What is the importance of having a nice nose or having a physical beauty? Who defines beauty? I don't care if it is in the shoes or in body or whatever. Who defines it? And why do we actually have to have that vision? We can create our own vision of beauty for ourselves and portray that to the world and create a new state of beauty, if you want to call it that way. And that would remove all the judgment from the world, all the criticism, and really, because you are creating that new state of beauty, you are creating something new, something beautiful, and that ultimately comes from love. Judgment comes from fear. We feel fearful that others will judge us in the same way, and we try to overcome that with power, with overcoming that judging others before they judge us. So yeah, that I think that is where all the problems come from in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes so much sense. Yeah, judging others before they judge us, or judging ourselves before others have an opportunity to judge us.
Yes, definitely. And we do this constantly without even noticing it.
Yeah.
It's like second nature to us, probably because we have seen it to our parents and it's part of our conditioning. But if you don't like this conditioning, if you don't like to be judged, why do you judge others? You can change this. And if each and every single person is able to change the way that they relate to others in this way, or the way they relate to themselves, like, what can I say? I can only envision utopia.
Yes, that would be a more loving, calmer world to live in.
Yes. At least, well, my world now is very calm, very joyful, like blissful, and going with the flow, with my own flow, nobody else's flow, and and still being happy with whatever life throws at me. Navigating that challenge without judgment, just accepting it is the way it is. I'm sure there will be a lesson that maybe I don't see right now, but I will see in the future. You know, yeah, without judging it, just accepting it, embracing it, loving the situation for the way it is, and forgiving myself, because I was the one creating that situation in the first place, even if I don't want to recognize it.
Yeah. That makes so much sense. When we decided to do this session, there was something you said about patriarchy, wherein you said men don't know any better. So talk to us a little more about that. That really intrigued me. That really fascinated me.
Okay, so we as women, we are always playing that, I don't want to say playing that victim role, because we are truly being hit by this patriarchal system, by this masculine system. We are born into it and we don't know any better. But the problem is that men don't know any better either. They have grown in the same patriarchal system as we have. So they don't see the problems that what they do are causing us. For them, it's normal. It's part of their conditioning. So we are trying as women to rebel against this system, which is fully normal. It is like a teenage stage, right? Where we see the problem and we want to rebel against the system. That's a teenage level. But what we actually want is to become an adult. And the way to become an adult in that way is to actually accept that men are also wounded. They have also been conditioned to treat us that way. And they truly don't know better. And this is where opening up conversation in relationship comes in. Because I see the problem. I see that you are shaming my body. I see that I am being treated as your slave. I feel all of that within me, but you don't see it. For you, it's normal. Not you, I mean men.
Yeah.
My partner. He doesn't see it. For him, it's normal because he saw his mom doing that. He saw his mom telling herself, I am so fat. I look so fat. This dress doesn't fit me well. I need to go on a diet. He saw his mom saying that. Why would he think that saying to a woman, you are fat, it's bad? He has grown hearing his mom saying to herself that she is fat. You know where I'm trying to go to? So I don't know. Yes, it is really bad for him to tell us that we are fat. Yes, it is really bad for him to tell us that we should wear something longer. But also mom used to tell me, well, I don't know you, but my mom used to tell me, wear something longer when I was younger. Or you are not allowed to dress this because it's too showy until you are older. So if my brother is hearing this, what will he do when he will be older? What do we expect from him? And I will go even further. If that hits mom, God forbid that. Okay, I don't want any guy to hit his wife, but if the boy is seeing this, what will he do when he has his own partner? The same, he has his wounds, he has his, he was feeling so unsafe when he was growing up because of the environment he grew up, that the only way he learned to defend himself or to feel love is by hitting. This is the only thing he knows. So what if instead of telling men they are perverts, they are assholes, never treat me that way again, I'm out if you do this again, which that's the rebel. How about we can start telling them, look, whenever you ask me to do the dishes and I see you lying on bed, nicely reading your book, I feel like a slave. I feel disrespected. I feel unvalued. I feel unworthy. I feel whatever it is that you feel. And I don't like to feel that way. I don't feel that I'm less than you. I feel that we're equal. I want to be equal to you. So how about, and then you bring up a solution. The first one to arrive home cooks and the other does the dishes, or the other way around, or come up with the solution that suits you. And he will understand, because he doesn't like to feel unworthy. He doesn't like to feel like a slave. He doesn't like to feel whatever it is that you're feeling, and he will empathize with you instead of telling him, no way, I'm not doing the dishes. Go, why are you sitting there? Go and do them you, which is what we normally do, right? So understanding that they were born in this environment and trying to, and by tuning into our emotional wisdom, we can help them understand what we are going through. And then they most definitely, if they value you, if they truly are in love, or if they want to be with you, they will step up.
Mm. Yeah. So there are two important things that I'm hearing here. One is changing those conversations for ourselves. And the second is making sure that we pass those new conversations on to our children.
Yes, it's very important. I am currently pregnant and I'm already doing the job.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it is very important, really. But this only starts when you accept that reality for yourself.
Yeah.
And then it's just natural conversation. You don't get triggered anymore. You are able to just breathe in whatever patience you need at that moment and communicate it. And definitely, when you are able to communicate this to your partner, it's like the partnership elevates itself. Maybe you elevate first and then he comes after, or it can happen the other way around, because I also don't see things that he sees. So he elevates and then I come after, and then we are more or less like that constantly. And so a child will be born in an environment that is more empathic, more compassionate, more understanding, listening to each other, even listening to the child's needs. Because I'm really currently having this conversation with my partner and with friends, and Well, this is completely off topic, the baby topic, the child topic.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, so some people say attachment development is good, attachment development is bad. You have to let them cry for them to learn. You have to be there for them when they cry. And I'm like, please, the baby, everybody wants acknowledgement in their life. Everybody is trying to seek for that acknowledgement from others because we cannot find it within ourselves. So when a baby cries, he's just searching for something, some attention. Maybe he's hungry, maybe he peed, he pooped, he feels his tummy, or maybe he really just is seeking for that attention, that acknowledgement. He doesn't have any other way to communicate that. Why will we think, like, why are we making everything turn around us adults, that the baby is only trying to grab our attention? The baby doesn't know anything about the world. The baby is just trying to tell you, please, I need some love. Are you going to deny that love? Why? Okay, you have your job, you have your business, you have to go to work, and the baby has to cry because you have to sleep for tomorrow. Priorities. I say here, priorities. And for me, giving love to that baby is, and to heal humanity, it's more important than whatever other thing.
Yeah, I can see how you have taken your work and how you approach your work and straight away applied it to parenthood.
Yes, yes. But this is not because this is not my work. This is my life.
Yes.
I am applying my life into my work, actually. So I am combining both of them in the best way that I can, so that more people can put this into practice. I like my life has completely changed 360 degrees since I started this journey of self-development and self-healing, and mostly since spirituality hit me. And I really had to take a turn there in my life. And wow, everything that I have learned since that moment around energy, everybody should know about this. Every single person should know about this. It's life-changing. Yeah. It's not woo-woo, it's actually science. And this is the worst part, that nobody knows about it.
That is true, it is science. So I've been a student of science all my life, and I grew up with E is equal to mc squared, the energy equation. E is equal to mc squared.
Okay, yes.
Which explains the whole quantum physics and energy. And then a few years ago, I started learning about energy. That's not something that I learned while growing up. And one day I had this realization that whatever I've been studying in science, E is equal to mc squared, all mass is energy, and all mass gets converted into energy. That concept, that's exactly what energy is talking about.
Yes. Yes.
We are all energy, all mass is energy. They're one and the same thing. They're just two different ways to look at the same thing. And it just, boom, blew my mind away completely. Yes.
The thing is that we are seeing it from the scientific perspective, right? Yeah. The kinetic energy, potential energy, but it doesn't cross our minds that there's something even deeper, other kind of energy connecting everything. And well, until I knew about this Planck, I was in the same boat as you.
Yes, only looking at one side of things.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, what can I tell you? I was also always in my rational mind. Even when spirituality hit me, I had to go with my mind to try to understand it, because I was so afraid of what happened. I was so afraid I couldn't sleep for 5 days. And yes, I had to go with my rational mind to understand it and step out of that fear. And once I read what I read, I was, oh, but everybody should know about this. Yes, and I embraced it. I embraced it. Embraced it. So, yeah, only good things can happen when you embrace your true self, when you understand and accept what you are, and you go from there.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, embracing ourselves, tapping into our own natural energy, that's got to be the initial steps.
Yes. And again, starts with forgiveness. Self-forgiveness.
Yes, of course. So Eugenia, we have lots of men in our audience. I understand that as women, we can tap into our emotional wisdom and help them step up. What if some men want to do this work proactively? What are some of the things you will tell them?
I will tell them to actually, from what I see in men, is that they are already doing it somehow without knowing it. As women, for example, me, I feel perfectly in tune with myself when I am like 70% of the time in my feminine and 30% in my masculine. That means 70% in my flow, in my creativity, in my playfulness, and 30% of my time doing the job and being rational and organized and doing the stuff, basically. And from what I see around me, men are already doing this. They are already feeling great when they are in their 70-80% masculine and 20-30% in their feminine. And this means that they feel great when they are at work doing their job and scheduling, organizing, and getting things done. But then they have that other time that they never say no to, which is having that beer with their friends, or having that going to the gym, or having that their own creativity and flow. I don't know, playing with a motorbike, whatever it is that they like doing, but they always have that hobby aside, which is their feminine. So what they could do is potentially start thinking why they enjoy these activities and how they could incorporate them into the, I don't know, how could they incorporate emotions into that and start listening to who they are. But they do, when they are with their friends, I don't know what I do know somehow. As a computer engineer, I was always surrounded by men. So I know that they also speak about feelings and emotions in their own way, but they are open and vulnerable in that 20-30% of time. The problem is that when they arrive home, they arrive to a woman that is in her masculine energy, doing all the things that she has to do at home. And so the man is relegated to his feminine energy, because there always has to be a balance, right? If I am in my masculine, he has to be in his feminine, and vice versa. So when we as women arrive home and we see things are undone, we step directly into that masculine of, I have to do this, this has to be done, come on, instead of just sitting down and being okay with the mess or being okay with whatever, and allowing him to step into his masculine and do shit. Sorry for the word again. So men are really, the problem of this society is that we, both men and women, are too much into our masculine. So there's an imbalance. And because we feel that we are forced to do things, I don't know you, I do feel, or I was feeling that I had to do things. I had to get my shit done. So I was always in that masculine. I was coming out of work and I was still on my masculine, always doing, overwhelmed, stressed, doesn't matter. But I am feeling overwhelmed and stressed because this is not my nature. My nature is to be more relaxed, more in flow, more playful, more in creativity. The man's nature is to be in that doing mode, doing, and providing and doing, taking care of things. But because we are always in that masculine, men are not allowed to step into their masculine. They are relegated into their feminine. And here is another imbalance comes, because this doesn't feel good for them. So they leave. They become detached of the relationship, or they feel better when they're alone outside, because then they can be again in their masculine. I don't know if this makes sense the way I explained it.
It does, but I do have a clarification that I want to see for myself and for our audience. And that is, we talked about the fact that men don't know any better because they are also born in the same patriarchal system.
Yes.
And if men don't know any better, then how will they have the knowledge or the wisdom to understand that they should step into their feminine energy? Because they don't know any better. You don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
So
again, I don't understand the question. Sorry. So we don't
here
have
it's not so much of a question, but I'm just wondering that if men don't know any better, how would they know that they have a feminine side to it and they can tap into that feminine energy? And it makes me feel as if, as women, we have got to take that responsibility and help them step up. That seems like hard work.
Yes. No, the thing is that as women, our nature is to be more time in the feminine. So the same that I don't know if you knew about this before this conversation, but I guess let's say that you didn't know that you had to step into your feminine, or that you were not in your masculine, that you are in your masculine most of the time. So how can you know about this? Listening to someone telling you, right? I didn't know this beforehand. I started playing with this game, as I told you, with the narcissist, the push and pull game.
Yeah.
I understood that when I was doing certain things, more like allowing things to happen, he would come to me. And when I was trying to give him things, he would go away. And this is fully masculine and feminine. So when I am relegating, I am allowing him to do the masculine, then he's coming to me. But when I am giving, I am being the masculine, he is no longer interested in me, he is leaving. So learning how to just, be comfortable in my couch, allowing him to step up into the masculine. And this means that, we want us ourselves as women to be most of the time in the feminine, but we also want the man to be most of his time in the masculine. So allowing him, it is their nature. I don't want to say here that anything about transgender or anything like this, because their nature might be different. I'm just talking about statistically.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So I don't know if that replies to your question, or
it does. I was looking for the how-to piece here, and I can understand when we start having that dance, the push and pull dance, it is going to give us an idea about our own energy and how the other person responds to our energy, and we can play that game and figure it out.
Well, figuring it, I can give you tips, right? Feminine energy is more like allowing things to happen, just being present with you, with the moment, whenever you are, when you are in love, that things happen around you and you don't see them. You are in your feminine energy in that moment, fully, completely. You are present in the now, and that is feminine. When you are thinking about what will happen in the future, when you are thinking, I need to get things done because, my finances, because my family needs it, or you are anxious of what just happened in the past, why did I did it? That is all masculine. That is more like the provider providing stuff. And by this, I'm not saying that women should not earn their money. Yes, this has nothing to do with that. And it's just a matter of accepting, allowing ourselves to be nurtured and allowing the man to nurture you. Again, it has nothing to do with money. It's more emotional. And because men only need to be in their emotions, like, I don't know, maybe 20 to 30% of the time to feel that fulfillment, I think that it's a perfect combination.
Yeah. Yes. The feminine and the masculine. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be, isn't it? We ought to have that balance within ourselves, and as people, we need to have that balance in our society too.
Yes. Well, ultimately, the ultimate goal would be for feminine and masculine to be fully 50-50, for our spirit to thrive 50-50. But I don't know if it is possible with our current conditioning, with the current mentality that we have. I can only say that me personally, I feel great at 70-30, more or less. 80-20 maybe, but what spiritual gurus say is that yin yang, that balance should be 50-50. So fully the same, genderless.
Yeah.
But again, maybe in 100, 500, 1,000 years, we will be able to be there. I don't know.
Someday.
Yes, definitely.
Someday. Yeah, I've read of this concept in religious and spiritual terms. Yes.
Yes. Well, regarding religion, I'm not much into it, so I cannot say. I have been atheist all my life until just 1.5 years ago, when the Creator hit me on the face.
Yeah.
So, and this is when I started developing this side of me and tuning into that unknown part of me, of myself, of the world, of everything around us. So in that sense, I'm a bit of a newbie, 1.5 years only, but I have been putting it into practice, and it really, really works. It really does work.
It does work, yeah.
Yes. I mean, without knowing, before I knew about these spiritual things or manifesting or what was even that, I was still in my self-development journey back then.
Yeah.
I manifested who today is my husband. I was just journaling for myself and fed up with some of the men, and why wouldn't they do this, and this is not what I want, this is what I prefer, and just journaling about that. And 3 months later, he appeared. So I truly manifested my husband without knowing what I was doing. And then when I learned about manifestation, I was like, oh my goodness, there's actually a method for this.
Well done.
Yes.
Manifesting the perfect person for you.
Yes. And well, this is actually part of my work, helping women manifest their dream partner. This I give you for free. I help you manifest him, but the work that I do is more like how to be ready when he arrives, so that he doesn't go away, or so that he actually values you and sees your worth and wants to stay and wants to be even longer with you, and how to be that woman that he craves, desires, that he is passionate about, that he respects and would never want to let go, because you feel like you are his safe harbor. So that's, yeah.
So tell us, Eugenia, how can people experience this with you? How can they work with you?
Well, currently, bad news, I'm pregnant. Well, bad news for you, for me, great news. But yeah, I will be delivering my baby in about 1.5 months. So my business life will be a bit, not fully over, but I will be taking it slowly. I am preparing for the next full year membership, so that that will be easier for me, I think. I'm also preparing podcasts, for pre-recorded podcasts, so that I can just launch them eventually, about unconditional love, stories of breakthroughs and challenges, and how women manage to step into this other reality. So hoping that other women that are currently facing a challenge will step into that healing process, and then from there, yes, memberships and small courses about feminine and masculine energy, about communication. I have a deck of cards of disempowering words that I made, 52 disempowering words to remove from your vocabulary once and for all. Self-reflection questions, journals. So these are little things that I will be offering this year. But maybe I will, I don't know, with the coaching, I think I am stepping a bit back from it during this year. So small courses that are pre-recorded, and people will be able to, but you still have 1 month if you want something one-on-one private with me.
Yes, beautiful. And you are on LinkedIn as well as Facebook, is that right?
Not in LinkedIn.
Not on LinkedIn.
Well, I am in Facebook and in Instagram, hating it. I don't like to be in social media. I just came back to social media because the marketing and business gurus are telling me to do that. I'll be honest here, but this is not something that I like. And I will also I am already stepping out of this. I prefer the podcasting, YouTube videos, and communicating one-on-one like this, like we are doing, and allowing people to get to know me in this way. I'm fully open for one-on-ones anytime. So if you are really willing to have a conversation like this with me, feel free to send me a message in Facebook or an email at eugenia@theemotionalfreedomacademy.com, and I will be happy to have a one-on-one conversation for free, of course. Here, I'm not one of those speakers who ask for dollars to speak. And yeah, I'll be more than happy to share my wisdom with anybody.
Yeah. When we finish, will you be kind enough to drop all your links just under this video, please?
Yes, I will.
So that we have everything in one place.
Yes, I will. I don't know if you would like me to share these freebies that I have.
Oh, yes. Anything that you want to share, anything that you think people will benefit from. Okay. Feel free to drop all the links under this video.
Okay, great. So I will share 5 disempowering words.
Okay.
To remove.
Tell us one right away.
One. Haha, there are so many. For example, one that we say very often is deserve.
Sorry, say that.
Deserve.
Deserve. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Today I deserve an ice cream because I had such a bad day. You don't deserve that man, girl. He is doing bullshit. You don't deserve him. You deserve way better. Sorry, but no. Deserve expresses entitlement, and we don't deserve anything because everything that we do is a full consequence of our actions and our behavior. So if we are having something that we don't like and we think that we deserve something to make us feel better, is just because your actions, your previous actions, were misaligned with who you actually want to be or who you are. So what you think you deserve is just a consequence of not being aligned with who you are, if that makes sense.
It does. I think it goes much deeper than it looks on the surface.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. So, and this one is one that I used to say constantly, oh, today I deserve a bathtub. Today I deserve. But since I started tuning into myself, I stopped feeling that I deserve things, because my whole life is something that I enjoy.
Mm.
If I don't like something, I don't do it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this
So I
makes
don't
so
feel
much
that.
sense. Yeah, it makes so much sense. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Eugenia, before we let you go, what is one big message you would like to share with our audience today?
Come back to who you are. Really remember who you are and step into your inner power that I know you have it. Wherever it is hidden inside your body, just tap into it and really step into it and share your knowledge, your wisdom with the world. But for that, make sure first to forgive yourself, to accept yourself, so that you can forgive and accept others in the way they are, in the way that whatever you believe in made them, so that so that the other people can really be themselves within their conditioning without feeling judged or criticized, but fully embracing. All of us, we embrace ourselves with mistakes and all. That is what I wish for the world and for the people listening to us.
What a powerful message to take away. What a powerful message. Thank you so much. People, let's come back to ourselves.
Yes, please do come back to yourself.
Thank you, Eugenia. Thank you so much for this conversation. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me here, Parul.